Hi. Okay, here we are again. Shockingly, I believe day 3. I was gonna say day 3 in a row, but that's not true. There was like a day in between. Anyways, since last time, I have shaved a lot of furs. Oh. Never mind, my camera's not going. Okay. Meanwhile, while I reset my camera, I've shaved lots of furs. I didn't finish, though. I've got maybe 5 or 6 symmetry pieces to work with. So here, the 2 pieces here for each side, and this is the pattern. So I've got like 6 stacks of these, but we definitely have enough where we could get a good head start. So what we're going to do is first we're going to start by fixing my camera. Deactivate. Reactivate. And poof. Cheez-Its. What is it looking at? Oh, it's looking at the side of my light here. Oh, well, you know what? I have these Cheez-Its out. I wanted to laugh with you guys about this. So there's some... I love Scooby-Doo, okay? Some Scooby-Doo Cheez-Its. That's great and all. But, like... he says it looks like him. Can I make a pipe bomb? Yes. Out of a Cheez-It box and a piece of tape. How you doing, Freddy? It just pisses me off because, you know, Scooby-Doo he talks with, like, the R's. It should be, like, rook, like, with an R. No. He learned how to say L's. He learned how to speak properly. But only for the Cheez-It box. I wish I could make anything. That would be pretty cool. Although I'm sure if I wanted to make a prop of a bomb, I could. I'll make like a little Mario one. That'd be cute. I like the little Mario bombs with the little eyes. Hey Renn, how you doing? Bringing all the puppers. This is my Meyer trash bag. There's lots of fur. I was shaving this piece, so I'm gonna finish shaving the other piece because that's what I was doing before 9 hit, and I had to, it was 9 o'clock. I had to stream. I'm doing my best to stay on schedule. I'm trying my best to not leave you guys hanging anymore. So yeah, just like last time, just gonna finish shaving this one piece, just like last time when we were shaving, and then we'll start piecing it together. And this is the fun stream. This is the one where it really starts to get fun because you start putting it on the head all together, and it gets very exciting. So yeah, my very unorthodox way of shaving, especially if it's black fur. You can't really see it that well on the camera, unfortunately. Frankly, I have a hard time seeing it myself. That's why I have a second ring light. There we go. Figby's in the background. I have this second ring light right here trying to keep it bright because working with black is so hard. It's so dark. Renn! You were right. I know, right? I want to work on, like... I wanted to do the tongue, and I wanted to do the eyebrows, and I wanted to do the eyelids, and I wanted to do everything, but you are right. I kind of just need to chill and just one thing at a time. The fun stream. Fell knows that they're all fun. Right? Right? That's what it is. I'm sure that's what he means, right? They're all fun, not the other way around. So, what did you guys do today? Because I woke up and it was really late. Actually, I woke up at 4 p.m. Which means when I go back to work tomorrow, it's going to be kind of hard, but oh well. I woke up and I just kind of played with my little brother for a little bit, and now I'm streaming. Well, I mean, I did some shaving of furs in between. I realized that I need to, like, take more time out for myself. It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard when you have school or work. Trying to balance that life is just not easy. Especially if you try to do streaming with it. It's almost like 2 different jobs. I still haven't even posted the last few videos that I did. A few streams. Totally your intent there, yep. The fun stream. So So yeah, just shaving like I did before. I'm sure Renn, who is a professional at shaving, is like cringing, but you know what? I feel like everybody's got their own skills, and there's so many things that when I see other people working on, it's like incredible. So maybe if I learn how to shave like real dogs like Renn can one day, I will show you guys how to do that. If she doesn't mind me sharing her secrets. I have this camera. Okay. Since I was editing, I was fixing the camera because since it cut out, and it was, I forgot to deselect it, so there's just this awkward line going across the screen. I hope you guys didn't see that, because otherwise it'll just be a line across the screen for that entire time. That's fun. It is 2 jobs. It feels that way for sure. Building your fursuit business empire while adulting on the side. It's true! I hate adulting. Adulting is hard, man. I believe you were right, though. It feels like 2 jobs to me, but I also don't want to be like a whiner, like, I'm trying to work 2 jobs. It's just dumb. But I am trying. I hope one day I can be successful in both things, but we'll see. Hey Della, how you doing? I had a headache earlier and I was like, what would Renn say? Renn would say to drink more water. So I did. I mean, I don't have a headache now, so maybe it helped. Also, it's really hot in here. I like blocked off the vent and I have a fan going, but you know what? It's still really hot in here. I'm okay. Okay. I don't even know what day it is, frankly, but... Because, as I mentioned, I slept all day. I'm so confused right now. Almost done shaving this one, though. I wonder if other fursuit makers shave this way, if they all use the shaver. I'm very curious. Because I have never, ever had any luck with a shaver, but at the same time, I've only had very cheap shavers. I've never had a very expensive one. Like, I'm pretty sure my shaver only cost, like... I bought it so long ago. It was under 50 bucks. So, I don't know. Well, this is nice and shaved. I'm going to brush it. And then I will check to make sure it looks nice. Looks nice now. It looks like I just bought some beaver fur, because it looks exactly like beaver fur now, but... So I'm just going to brush it back one more time and check. Yeah, it looks good. Unfortunately, since I did that, now I have to brush it again, but... Okay. So, these are the other pieces that I have not finished shaving up here. Ooh, bright. On my desk, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can't even see it right over here. That's okay. We don't need those 5 stacks. We can get a lot done today without them. And I will shave them off stream. Because, boy, there is a lot. So after I streamed the other night, since last stream, I've spent, I want to say 5 hours shaving? Ish? I know I spent 15 hours off stream so far. So adding on to that would be... Well, I guess that depends on when I finish streaming. Ooh, that would be great, Renn. One thing I know for sure about faux fur is that it dulls blades even quicker than real fur. So I'm kind of worried. But I would really love that if you could do that. It'd be awesome. Alright, so the one thing I did not touch was the inside of the mouth here. I've still got some tapes sitting in there. I did take them out, but I also put them back in. I don't know why. I just don't know what to do with them yet. Because I want to get the furs in place. Then I'll get the minky in there for inside of the mouth. But right now, let's get the main furs going. Yeah, that would be awesome. Just to get some kind of mid-expensive clippers. Ones that aren't too expensive, but not, like, super cheap either. There we go. I think that'll be bright enough. Cute. Look at her. Okay. So now I've got this pile here of furs that are all set. They're all still together, so I have 2 in each pile. One for this side and one for the opposite side of the head. So I don't want to separate these because some of them can look similar, and I'll have to like, I mean, this is a rectangle, right? It could easily get mixed up with another one of these that are a rectangle, so when you have your pieces, try to not let them get mixed up. Okay, so this one is a fun one to start with. This is the back of the neck. I know because I wrote it. So these two actually just go right together like this. So I guess I can pin this one. This will be nice. At the very least, we can have the neck done for this stream. Hopefully we can get some on the face. Yeah, working with this black fur, I'm going to constantly have to keep adjusting the lighting because it's so dark. Just think, you could be known for your very dope coat blending someday. And then I'll say, do you want to know who taught me this? And then I'll point out Renn. Okay, this is going to be a disaster right now. I'm going to knock over everything on accident. That would be really awesome. I know if you can do it right, kind of just like with the airbrushing. If you can do airbrushing right, you can make stuff that look awesome. So it's another one of those things. Like, if you can do it, it's very cool. Okay. Kind of dark. Maybe a little bit brighter? There we go. I guess having the red nail polish kind of helps too. So, just gonna put these pieces together. Make sure they're facing the right way. The same fur direction. Make sure you're actually holding it in the right spot. Not like one's way up here. You know, just line it up nice. Push the fur in. Just kind of tuck it. And then I pinch it. Pinch it into place. And then while you're pinching it, you can clip it. So this is my bag of clips. Directly from Amazon. A bag of 100 clips. They came in rainbow. And I love these things. Like, I constantly sing the praises of the Wonder Clips. But until recently, these are the ones I had. Official Clover brand, which is hilarious. I didn't know there was like a sewing brand named Clover before I started, by the way. They're just regular clips for sewing. They're very nice, high quality. Like, you clip fabrics together with them. And until now, I didn't really know the difference between the on brand, which would be the Clover brand, and the off brand, which would be like these unnamed Amazon ones. But now I can tell you the difference. The Clover brand is not as sturdy and is good for basically if you're doing a lot of clipping of fabrics for, oh, I dropped it, for hours and hours. These are great because clipping over and over and over isn't going to hurt your fingers as much. They're not as strong. But the bad thing is they don't hold faux fur that great because they're not as strong. So while these are a little bit harder on your fingers, it's not that bad and it holds it much sturdier. So unless you're doing something with some really thin fabrics, honestly, I would say probably just get the off-brand of these Wonder Clips. Really. Which I don't expect to say often. Usually the on-brand are better, but not in this case. And they're like 5,000 times more expensive too. Like, Wonder Clips, like a good amount of them, like 20 or something, could be $40. Like, no joke. Or you could pay $10 for a pack of 100 off-brand ones that are stronger. Like, I mean, I guess. Why would you not? You have an airbrush machine for coloring the dogs. Oh! Do you really? Oh my gosh. Jeez, you should be doing some detailing on fursuits. Seriously. I don't have an airbrush, so, or airbrush machine, whatever. I do not have that. I've never gotten to try it. I would love to try it one day, but before I can use it on fursuits, I'd need to practice it, and it would take me a bit. I like to practice before I try something brand new on somebody's expensive fursuit, but... Alright, so if you cut it out nice and proper, like, very carefully, they should line up perfectly. You shouldn't have any, like, one edge being longer than the other. It should just line up perfect. But if it's a slight difference, you can, like, trim it if you have to. So, yeah, that's where we're gonna sew. And the other side, this is the back of the neck. Very fluffy. You might be worried about the seam. Don't be. Once it's all sewn together and we brush it out, it will look a lot better. So, yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Just gonna pin a ton of stuff, sew a ton of stuff. Good times. Unfortunately, that means we gotta go to the sewing machine, which is also not another fun one to do on stream so much because it's hard to hear me speak while I'm on the sewing machine because it's, like, loud. I don't know how loud because I've never really paid attention, but it's kind of loud. Okay, so here's the top of the head piece. I know because it says top of head. It shows me which direction the fur goes. So I'm going to try to line these up like that. I love how I'm just out of table space. I'm just working on my lap. Alright. So, the top of the head, like this. Oh! Oh, wow! Well, thank you for following! Let's see if I can pronounce that. Luna X Lloyd, I think. Awesome! Well, thank you very much! Okay, so we've got these two pieces together. This is going to be the top of the head. And give me a minute to move. So this will be right on top like this. Which looks hilarious. It kind of looks like a toupee right now since it's just some fur on the top. But it will look better once the rest of the fur is on there. Alright. Yep, so that's what we gotta do. We gotta pin these. And honestly, that's just what you do. This step is pretty self-explanatory. Again, it's unfortunate that it's a lot of black because it's hard to see for you guys and me, but you know, harder for you guys than me. But that is okay. Cuz you know what to do if you are following along, hopefully. We're just kind of puzzle piecing them back together. And if you have trouble, you can always refer to like the little ticks we wrote on this. Like these tick marks should match to the other piece that we tick marked across. And hopefully you wrote down what each piece is, like top of head. You love the head so far. Oh, thank you! I really like how it turned out too. It's really, I think it's really cute. Very, very cute to me at least. I can't wait to get the nose on there. It's got a squeaker. So yeah, we're just gonna pin and sew. Pin and sew, and that's it. It's gonna take a while. Usually I'll just, you know, put on something in the background for this too, because this part doesn't take too much brain power. Sometimes it does to, like, make sure you've got things in the right spot, like in the right spot on the puzzle piece, but you do like your natural colors. That is a-okay. I really like natural colors too. Alright, so here's our little, I'm gonna start calling this the toupee. Goes right on the top here. Alright. So, well, let's pin a few more of these before we sew, because that'll just, I think that'll be in our best interest. So if you set your pieces aside, still keep this piece with it, because then you won't lose track of what piece it is. Alright, so those pieces were easy because it was the back of the neck, and that it combined, it was like the same piece went together on the back and the top. So some of these, like, sides of cheeks, we might not be able to sew together. You might have to wait to get some other pieces on the way, if that makes sense. So here's the cheek fluff that goes here. actually goes back here. So there, I can't really do much with this yet because I don't have another piece to stick it to. So I'm just gonna wait on this one. That's why I like to do like the neck first or the top of the head. You just gotta choose a spot and start working your way down, because, I mean, what am I gonna sew this to? There's nothing to, you know? Back center of head. Okay, that's a cool one, since it's the back center of head. That goes right here. So these two pieces will actually go together like this. They'll connect right in the middle. So let's do that one. That's a pretty good one to do. So I gotta be careful with this one, because this piece looks pretty symmetrical, so I gotta make sure it's flipped the right way. I know, I love the squeaker! Squeaker. Natural colors are cool, but funky and bright colors are your fave. Right? Honestly, I love both. It's fun to have both. Sometimes I find myself putting natural colors with wild colors also. Like, it's fun to mix it too. Yeah, that's fine, Renn. Everybody's got their own style, so if you prefer, like, the natural colors, and maybe one day if you feel like it, you might change your mind and go for a more wild color palette. Who knows? As long as you're having fun. Alright, these look very similar, so first things first, I'm going to identify these. Right here, back center of head. I'm going to have to make sure which side is the mirroring side. See, I need like 10 cameras right now. That would be great. So, this piece goes here, and this piece goes here. So it actually connects, so that's cool. So we can connect that piece that I was calling a toupee to this piece here. So that's cool. So let me make sure I've got the right pieces here. This one goes here. Yes. So then this one should be here. Haha, confusing myself. I know! I love the squeakers in the paws, right? I love the image of a big scary skull dog with squeaky paws. Squeak, squeak! Yeah, I know, right? I love Winchester. He's really cute. He could be cute, but he could also be scary. He's a big boy, you know? You could go either way. He's cute. Okay. So I'm just, like, ultra checking to make sure I don't sew this backwards. That's totally something I would do and have done many times. Okay. So this one matches here. So it will go like this. Which means that this one should match this one. Supposedly. Did I cut out two of the same? Because it's kind of what it's looking like. Maybe I'm just dumb. Okay. Okay, I got this. Okay. So this piece should go here. And this piece, supposedly, should go here. Okay. Okay. So this is one of those moments I gotta think. It's not an easy. It's not an easy. So in theory, I got this correct. If we sew it together and it's incorrect, I will cry, but you know what? That's what seam rippers are for. And it would not be a single project that I was working on if I didn't have to use the seam ripper at least like 5 times. Alright. So, now that I think I got the right way, I'm going to pin them together, and then I'm going to hold them up again and try to test, make sure that I actually did get it right, because if it's not right and I sew it together, it's much more of a pain to rip it apart. At least it's not like 2 left sides or something. I do have a left and a right side, so we're good. I know, I'm always wondering what I could add more squeakers into. Sometimes I'm like, well, maybe I could put them in the bottom of some feet paws, and that would be really cute. But I wonder if they would last, or if they would get beat up and destroyed too quickly. I've never tried it, so I'm not really sure if it would work. But I'm kind of willing to give it a shot, because squeakers on the bottom of feet paws, that would be really, really fun. Or it would be very annoying to somebody. Blah, already choking on fur. That's wonderful. Okay. So this is how it should look. Pieces. Yeah. That should be it. It'll go right there. Okay. We're getting there. Let's grab... Well, I got these 3. Let's get this piece right here. There's a piece that goes right here. That'd be perfect. Because we have this one, and then one right here, and the one below. So if we could get this one piece right here. No, because I can't add this piece unless I finish sewing these. Because if you get too many things pinned together, I tend to, like, accidentally bump them when they're under the sewing machine. So I think it's time to sew these guys, and then we can continue pinning more. I think we hit that point. Your other suit has squeakers in the ears and tail tip. Ah! Oh my gosh, yes, Renn and Della, you just reminded me that that's an S tier place to put a squeaker, is right in the tail tip. I forgot all about that. And, you know, I've never thought of putting it in the ears before, but it's not a bad idea. I mean, that would work. That'd be cute. The only thing about having it in the nose is that some people like to take advantage of that and try to, like, boop your nose, which, depending on who you are, you may like or may find very annoying, so... Alright, this camera is gonna have to be in my face here. Okay. So, more black. Gonna make it hard to see for you guys. We need like I've been talking about doing that for a long time, like a sewing machine 101. There's really not much to it though. You've got 2 threads. You've got the bobbin thread, which is these little guys that you put down here. And you've got your regular thread, which you put up here. I just happen to be using cone-shaped thread, but there's like the regular threads and then the big cone threads. They will both work likely. They all do have different uses, but for the most part, as long as it's something strong, you're good. Okay. Oh, thank you. I really hope it looks good. I think it looks good. I'm hoping it looks good. So if you guys think it looks good too, that pleases me. Thank you. Okay. So let's get these pieces sewn. So usually I'll just kind of shake it, try to get it to lay flat. And this part is not hard for me, at least. I've done so much sewing, so much fur sewing. Alright. Well, I hope she looks good. The way she's looking now, I think she's going to turn out very excellent. Alright, so a few things here. If you are having trouble getting it to start, you can actually, well, depending on your sewing machine, adjust how far away each stitch is. And if you make it a little bit larger, it kind of helps the sewing machine push the fur through a little better. Kind of depends what you're working with. There we go. So when you first start, you need to backpedal a little bit, just a little bit, and then you can go forward. Because basically, unlike hand sewing, the sewing machine cannot tie a knot. At least it's not supposed to. If you make your sewing machine tie a knot, then you've got problems with your sewing machine. Alright. So instead of tying a knot, you're gonna start by... I usually start like a little bit down, maybe like half an inch. Like start right here. I'll go back a few stitches and then go forward all the way down to the bottom. And when you hit the bottom, go back a few stitches again. And that's gonna kind of knot it for you. It'll kind of tie it up a little. That way it doesn't just completely unravel all the way up. And when I'm doing a long thing, like a really long piece, like I'm working on a bodysuit or something, and it just keeps going and going, every once in a while I'll do a back stitch somewhere along, just somewhere along, so that if it does rip, pop a seam somewhere, it doesn't unravel, unshred the entire bodysuit. It'll only go between those two parts that you back stitch through. So here's this. It does pop out a little bit, and that's the point. That's why there's two different pieces, so that it's curved shape. It is very curvy. Eee! I'm so excited to see you at Anthrocon. I can't wait to take photos with you. Have you chosen like an outfit of some stuff you're gonna wear? Because since she's a partial, you're gonna have to find some regular clothes too. But she does come with the feet paws, so if you wanted, you could wear, I mean, if you wanted, you could wear skinny jeans, but if you have some kind of bell bottoms, it might look more natural to try to cover the feet paw transition. So yeah, I'm gonna start like right here, a little bit below the clip. Then I'll back up a little and go all the way down. Of course, if you're hand sewing, you don't have to do that. Hand stitching is completely different. Sorry, give me just a sec. Alright, so I hit the back, I hit the very bottom, and I hit the, this is on my machine, this is the back stitch button, so I just hold that for a few seconds, and it'll do a few back stitches for me. And then cut off the threads on both spots. Ta-da! Okay. Hey, Gaming Shaper, how you doing? Yes, there will be so many photos. I'm so excited. That's my favorite thing to do in fursuit. Some people like to dance or just be cute, acting up, and some people like to just play games or whatever. I just like to take photos, frankly. You're getting this excited over someone else's suit, then you're gonna have a heart attack once Takami's suit. Yeah, once it's yours in the spotlight, oh my gosh, you're gonna love it. You have black leggings and you're not sure what kind of shirt, but you did buy a long sleeve black thermal shirt. Ooh, that'll be good. It's the kind that keeps you cool, not hot, right? Because that will make you suffer if you accidentally chose the wrong one. Alright, so something I forgot to mention, because I'm probably going to do this off camera. Once you sew it once, that's good. Then you want to check both sides. This side looks good to me. Flip it over. This side, make sure that the stitches aren't like bubbling out, or make sure the thread didn't rip, or that you missed the edge or something. Basically, you want to check to make sure that those are good, strong seams. And personally, I go over this seam again, and then I'll go over it a third time with a zigzag stitch on the end. So I will show you guys how that looks. So this is the second time I'm going over it, so I'm just trying my best to stay directly on that other line, because that line I made before was really good. So if I stitched this whole thing up and I flipped it over and on the back side it looked really off, it wasn't great, I would actually stitch it again. So it would be like 3 straight stitches, and then the 4th stitch would be the zigzag on the end. Uh-oh. I hope that's not... I mean, Anthrocon is in summer, so... It's kind of confusing. confusing because there's two kinds of thermal shirts. The kind that keeps you cold and the kind that keeps you hot. So hopefully it's the kind that keeps you cool, but... Alright, so... I stitched it once, and then I looked over it. It looks good. So I stitched it twice. Still looks good. So now I'm going to do the zigzag stitch. So, my sewing machine happens to have this very proudly displayed over here. This is the one I usually use, just a standard zigzag stitch. And this button tells you how far apart each stitch is, like this. I guess. I don't really know how to explain it. You can kind of tell by the pictures. And this is like the length of the stitch, like how long. So a single stitch would be really long. And this, if I had it higher, and if I had it lower, it'd be like little, tiny little stitches. And this is the space in between each stitch. So normally, I'm going to reset it because I was messing with the buttons. Normally, I'll just kind of leave it the way it is. Whatever settings it comes on. So it says a 5. So that's kind of a large stitch, but it is a zigzag. So we're going to go through with that, and we're going to see how it looks. And if it's too big or too small, we'll just do it again. You have other shirts, though. That's good. I hope you have another shirt that has, like a sweat wicking, because that would be really, really, really helpful for fursuiting. Another partial suitor on TikTok that wore a summer dress. Yes! Okay, those are really cute. I love that. Dresses, fursuits with dresses, I don't know. I think they're just really cute. Okay, again, this is hard to see because it's on black, but this is the line that I sewed. I have sewn. So this is where the zigzag is going to be. It's from the very edge to that line we sewn. We sewed? Sewn? Sewed? I think it's sewed. So we're going to go from the edge to the line we sewed. So let's see how that goes. Ooh. It looks like the stitch is a little large for me, so I just hit this minus button. I went down half a little, make it a little bit less wide, because it was so wide, it was too wide. Alright, that should do. So the purpose of... Well, hang on. There we go. Okay, so same as before. Make sure you do the back stitch to kind of lock it down. Alright, so I've got to get this in a good light so you guys can actually see. There we go. Okay. So yeah, the purpose of that zigzag stitch all the way down the end is to kind of give it that extra layer of durability. And yeah, I mean, honestly, it finishes up the edges pretty well. I don't expect it to shred, but it is an extra layer of durability too. So that's why I do the zigzag all the way down. So the two straight stitches and the zigzag, that's 3 times. And if one of those stitches didn't really go great, I'll even go over it a 4th time. So you don't want a fursuit, especially a bodysuit, to be ripping. That's not great. It's worth it for you, or for whoever you're sewing this for. Is completely worth it to stitch over it multiple times like that. It's sewn. Is it sewn? Like, if I say, I have sewn this, is that proper grammar? I think so. It's not sewed. I have sewed this. I've sewn. Yeah, sewn sounds correct. English major? You would know! Yeah, I have to trust you on that. Alright, so I was gonna do this off stream, but I feel like I should just do it now since we're gonna... Basically, one time, I had sewn multiple pieces together. Like, it was... I think it was Spartan, actually. I had sewn Spartan's bodysuit together, and the plan was to go over it again with more durability. Like, I only did 1 stitch through everything until I had the whole bodysuit. And then I was like, wait a minute, How am I supposed to go over it a second and third time for durability now that it's this huge hulking suit? So now, I suggest every time you put a piece through the machine, just do your durability stitches right then and there. Don't wait. The only reason I was thinking about waiting in the first place was because, for the stream's sake, I don't want to bore you guys to tears. But I'm kind of thinking maybe I should actually just finish stitching these before I get way too far ahead of myself. Renn, I don't know if I knew you were an English major. I don't remember if you told me that before or not, but it totally sounds correct, so. Alright, so I accidentally forgot to change it from zigzag back to normal, so I just ripped out that extra thread that it tried to do and switched back to normal stitches. Okie dokie. So because of this piece here, this is called the presser foot, this bottom piece. Because of that, it helps you to not sew yourself. So that's good. I know a lot of people get nervous working with a sewing machine because they're like, what if I stab myself? You have to actually try to hurt yourself, I think. Like, you'd have to stick your fingers, not here, where they're supposed to be, but here. So, I mean... just... if you're sewing, and you're somewhat intelligent and or not very sleepy, you'll be fine. There are some things I don't do when I'm very sleepy. I don't shave fur because I can't get it straight, and I don't do any X-Acto blade work when I'm really tired because every time I will cut myself, every time. Or if I'm working on like the foam head base and I'm trying to chop it, I can't work on it when I'm tired because I hurt myself. So like I always snip my finger or something. So some things like that. Like if you're worried about hurting yourself on something, just don't do it when you're tired and you'll be fine. I have hurt myself on stream before. Like when I was working on like the foam head bases, I have snipped my finger a few times, but it wasn't like right up in the camera. It was kind of like far back, so I just kind of went over to the side and band-aided that up, and yeah, that was fun. I mean, I did leave for a second. I did say, I injured myself, I'll be right back, so I could wash my hands and then put a proper band-aid on it, but like, at least I haven't, like, gotten myself seriously injured on stream before. That is something I've worried about. As long as I don't stream when I'm sleepy or do something stupid, I think I'll be fine. Alright, so this piece looks good. I've stitched it 3 times as I wanted to. Got that zigzag on the end. So let's keep going. We've got this last piece here, and then we can stitch these together, and we'll have the whole back of the head done. We can stick it right on there. Is dog grooming like a college thing or a trade school thing, or do you just, like, how do you get into that? Because that's really interesting to me. Because it's something I had thought about doing when I was younger. What else did you try when you were in college, or was it just English? I almost minored in computer science. Almost. I was very close. I didn't do it because I didn't have time, but I don't think I would have liked it anyways. Looking back, I mean, I liked animation, and I didn't end up sticking with that. I'm pretty sure I would not have ended up liking it enough to make it a career in computer science, but I think I would have been entertained by it to a point. That's the crazy thing. It's like something you think you want your entire life. All I wanted to be was an animator my entire life, and then turns out I didn't even like it, so... It's just funny how life will just completely 180. Okay. So here's the very first stitch. So now I'm gonna just, you know, cut it off, flip it over, check both sides. Make sure that it looks good. Because sometimes I really do think I did a good stitch, and then I flip it over, and I check this side, and it's completely off. Again, it's hard for you guys to see, I'm sorry. See this part right here? Okay, maybe you can see, I don't know. It's like kind of really close to the edge, so I'm gonna go over this one part one more time, just to make sure it's actually on there proper. Because if your seam is too close to the edge, it's not gonna hold. It's just gonna rip the fabric. Like, if you're putting it right on the edge, that's why you keep a seam allowance of roughly like a 1/4 or maybe a little less of an inch, because that's what it's for, this extra hanging off bit. Because otherwise your fabric will just tear if you don't have a seam allowance. Okay, there we go. So I had re-sewn over this piece that kind of was too close to the edge for my liking, and now it's better. Alrighty. Oh, thank you! I love this. I call it my Flintstones shirt. It's not quite orange, but I really like this shirt. Thank you. How are you doing? It's a trade school thing. Although I apprenticed under another groomer for 8 years. Wow! You really enjoyed residential commercial blueprinting. Whoa! You took interior design, several psychology classes, and took a lot of writing and biology classes. Jeez! You know, I always took you as a jack of all trades, but seriously, you kind of are. You've got the skills in lots of things. That's very cool. Lots of things that I don't think I could do either. English, biology, like, hard things. Bigby, what kind of advice do you have for someone who's literally mortified of college? LOL. You know, the one thing I can say is they will not ask you to do anything impossible. It might feel impossible, like, what if they give me, like, a 6-page paper or something? But they will not ask you to do something that you cannot physically do. And that's what I have to tell you. Also, I'm not worried. You're very smart. You got this. Oh! Well, thank you for following. Sincerely, Augie. That's cute. Sorry, if you wonder why I have my hands over here a lot, this is where my fan is. And it is like 80 degrees in here right now. Thank you for following. Like, I didn't even go to college for sewing. In fact, most of my life I hated sewing. I was like, I'm never gonna learn to sew. It's way too hard. But there's so many different things you can take in college. And some colleges offer things that others don't. So really just, like, look at all of your options before you choose which college. No, don't! I love my fan! It's keeping my hands cool. Fell is here to be evil. Renn says, it was fun. It was also hard. Oh, for sure. You had to work full-time, go to college. Oh! And you were finishing high school because of dual credit. Yikes! Rip, that's crazy! So, that's another thing I would say is do not overbook yourself, because today they want you to take 16, 17, 18 credits every semester. I think is it every semester or every quarter? I don't remember now. Basically, even when you were going to school full-time, and, I mean, I worked very part-time when I was at school, like 6 hours a week or something. So basically, I was full-time school, and it was too much. It was still too much. So, Yeah, don't do what Renn did unless you want to die. Don't full-time job and full-time school. For real, value your sleep. Seriously, there are so many things that I regret about college, and 90% of them are related to if I had more time to learn this better, if I wasn't so sleepy, I could have been better at this. A lot of my animation classes I didn't get as much value out of as I could have, especially since they're so expensive, and, you know, it's like, you want to get the value out of that. Plus, just adding, like, another year to your college to, like, spread out your classes is not that much. It might seem like a lot, but now that I'm done with it, I'm like, you know, and adding another year wouldn't have been that bad. Because even I added an extra semester. I had, like, a super senior year semester, and it was still wild. Like, yeah, Della, yeah, I think I'd fall over dead if I did that. Right? I feel that. I wouldn't want you to do that, though. I think that would probably be good if you did not die. Okay, quick note. Depending on the stitch and what sewing machine you're working with, if you try to reverse with some of these special stitches, it doesn't actually do a back stitch. It'll just kind of do a stitch in the same spot a few times. So if you want, you can go on a normal stitch, reverse a few times, like, to knot it, like, so it doesn't, like, unthread itself. Then go to your zigzag stitch. I mean, thankfully, my machine happens to actually do the reverse of the zigzag stitch, so I don't have to worry about that. But some of these other specialty stitches, it does not reverse, so you do still need to do the reverse stitch so it doesn't unravel, though, so depending on your machine. Sorry. The sewing machine part is never the most fun part. Because I don't have a good camera for it, I don't think. I just don't have a good spot for it. Open window. Oh, that's a good idea. There was like a skunk outside one day when it was really hot in here, and I was like, do I want to melt or do I want to smell like skunk? Eventually I chose melt, but you know. Yeah, Renn, that's really great advice. Just, yeah, soak in what's available before you decide. Wow. My light just died. That's nice. Dying is not suggested by the manufacturer. Alright. So you can get a pretty good sewing machine for, like, between $200 and $300. I know that sounds like a lot, because it kind of is, but thinking about it, for a sewing machine, it could be way, way worse. Oh. Oh, boy. I think this light is, it's dead. That's not good. Okay. Well, hopefully we didn't need it. I mean, I was kind of using it for, like, a... Wow. Both of my lights are dead. That's wonderful. Good! Excellent! We're gonna have to just sew in darkness now. I mean, it's not super dark, but it's not bright either. Okay. See, it would be great to have, like, an extra little kick light on the side here, but no! Had to fry itself. Okay. So, now that I've got these pieces here... This is a neck. It goes down here, and this goes here, and I know exactly where it goes because of these cute little tick marks that we wrote right here. So you can see that it's kind of like a really awkward shape here. Not sure why I did that. There was probably a reason. So the top of the head. So yeah, just kind of piece it together, and from there... we will piece together the furs in the same way. Where did it go, though? Oh, I set it down. So here's where the neck goes. Fluffy. Ascending to darkness. Right? You'd think I'd have more lights around here, but no, I don't actually. And one of my USB ports on my computer is dying, which has been causing me problems for a long time, because imagine having 2 cameras and a microphone plugged in. That's already 3 USB ports, and if I gotta choose one that doesn't work, like, which one do I want to give up on? The USB port, or, I mean, the light, or the... It's like, I don't have enough USB ports to go around, basically. Okay. Work with me now. Okay, this is good. It's not dead yet. Alright. Now I get like a little halo behind me. Good, I'll block it. That's better. Okay, we got this. If I can just position myself. Ooh. What is all this? I gotta work out. Okay, never mind. Don't pay attention to me. Okay, so here's the top of the head. Here's the back of the head. And here's the neck. Speaking of skunks, we've got a whole stripe going on now. Very cute. Looks kind of silly. Alright. So yeah, we can sew these pieces together while we're at it. So looking at the pattern, I was able to deduce that this does hang out kind of awkwardly over here. Let's figure out why that is before I sew these together, actually. I should probably know what the reasoning was. So I'm looking for the piece that I labeled as, like, behind ear or something like that. This is a cheek. That's not what I need. Side neck, top. Side of neck, front neck, top. Oh yeah, that goes here. So I will need that one kind of soon. The more detailed you can write these, the better you're gonna be helping yourself. Front neck, behind ear. Behind ear. Okay, that's the one I'm thinking. That's the one we need. That'll go right up here. And then this one. If you're having trouble though, that's why we took pictures, so. Okay, so let's connect these two together first. Oh, okay, see, I knew there was a reason. A reason why it was kind of stair-stepped awkwardly. See, I had to have a line right in here, right in the middle, because this part was so curved, it wouldn't have curved well enough. So that's why there's a line between these two. That's why these are 2 separate pieces. So let's put these 2 pieces together first, and then we can connect the whole top and back of the head here. So where's that one that I just sewed? The one that I just sewed or sewn? Help me out, English major. Oh boy. Usually I avoid saying that because I can just say the one I had sewn, because I know that's correct English. Okay, so this goes here like this. So now I gotta put this piece on either side. Right here. Good. So this is how this will look once we get these 2 sewn together. So I'm just gonna flap it open. Ah! Okay, so there's our seam. Let us sew this. Okay. One day we will get to the gray parts. The gray parts are slightly less dark than the black ones. But don't worry, one day in the future we'll be doing more streams on pink or something else that's not so dark. Hopefully you guys get the gist of what I'm trying to explain anyways, though. Okay, so try to make sure these are lined up nice. You can shove the fur in with your finger. I kind of like pinch and roll it a little bit sometimes. If some of the fur is being kind of unruly, like if it's trying to stick out very hard, after I tuck it in like this and I pinch it, you can kind of roll it a little bit, and sometimes it helps. That's just something that I do. Not sure if other fursuit makers do that. It's kind of interesting to see what other people do. Because everybody's got their own ways of doing things. Okay. Sewn is the proper past tense of sew. Okay. Okay, I think I got that. That's so weird to me because it sounds right to me if I say I had... Okay, so if I say I had sewn something, that's correct. Is sewed even a word? Because it feels wrong to me. Also, when I'm helping people at my other job and they're asking about like faux suede, faux leather, faux fur, like a lot of the time they'll call it fox because they don't know that it's pronounced faux. I mean, it's spelled fox, but okay. So we got this side pinned. While I'm at it, I'm gonna pin the other side on too. Alrighty. I remember specifically when oh man, this is such an old thing now, I guess. The Scooby-Doo 2... Wait, 2? Was it 2 or 1? I think it was 1? I don't remember. One of the Scooby-Doo live-action films, they had like this bar or something called the Faux Ghost. I totally thought it was Fox Ghost. Like, growing up my entire life, I thought that was called the Fox Ghost. Even though in the film themselves they do call it the Faux Ghost at least once. I don't know why I didn't catch that, but why is it spelled like fox? I don't get it. And then, to throw even more confusion in, if you're looking at faux furs, there's like luxury shag, beaver, bunny, fox, F-O-X. So, now are you gonna be talking, you know, see what I'm saying? Like, now there's fox, faux fur. Not fox fur. Anyways. Alright, so this is the back of the head. You can see it's really, really rounded, and that's good. That's exactly what we needed. That's why we have so many slits, because we needed it to be round. Okay, back to the sewing machine. Whee! Oh, I'm not even wearing fun socks today. They're just green. Just green striped. I could have been wearing my Ravenclaw socks, but no. Alright. Clover fights with the camera, episode 500. Okay. You know, I always was worried that this light here would burn out because I sew a lot. So I was always worried if it burned out, because then I would have to, like, replace it, you know? That's kind of a pain. Okay. Alright, same deal as before. Let's do some straight stitches. And I think I am going to make my stitch, the widths between the stitches, just a little bit bigger. So that the presser foot can actually get the fur moved through. Because otherwise, tiny little stitches, sometimes it's just too small and it doesn't do. Sowed is a real word. It's just tense for sow, as in farming / seed plant. Oh, sowing seeds, yeah. Wow. Well, that's good to know. Thank you. I really do want to say sewed, but at the same time, I know sewn is correct. But then whenever I say sewn, it makes me want to say had sewn, not just sewn. Like, just saying sewn on its own feels weird for me, but... Yeah, for whatever reason, these off-brand clips are better at, like, they're sturdier, so they're better for fur holding. Maybe it's because my other clips are older now. Maybe they've gotten weaker, but it's hard to say. I mean, honestly, I think were always just more gentle. I think they were more meant for people who like quilting and like bandanas, easier, thin cotton fabrics, not this thick faux fur that needs some serious grip, you know? Alrighty, this side looks good. Let's check the other side. This side looks good. I think I should go a little bit deeper in on this side. It's not too close to the edge where it's a problem, but when I go over it the second time, I will make sure I get it a little bit closer in. If it's really bad, I will go over the third time, but it's not that bad. See all the fur on my hands? It's sticking. So my favorite part is not having to shave all the fur. So like, mostly, I think I mentioned this last stream, most of the back of the head and all of the neck you don't have to shave. The back of the head is completely optional. I like it better long anyways, which works for me because I hate shaving, but I think it looks better. It's just my preference. So the less amount of shaving, the better. But unfortunately, all these pieces here that I didn't finish shaving before we started streaming, it's all like it's mostly ear pieces. I've got to shave those. I mean, some people like to leave some fluff right at the base of the ear. You can do that too. We can plant faux fur and see if we can farm fursuits. Alright, today I'm going to show you how we sew fursuits. Sew fursuit seeds. Alright, going back to the zigzag. Again, since I turned the machine off, it reset, so I am going to make the zigzag a little bit thinner, because it was a little too wide. Okie dokie. Forward, backward a few, and forward. You kind of have to help the machine, especially with faux fur. I mean, if you've got a heavy-duty machine, you might not need to help it so much, but I have to help it. One day I'm going to invest in a nice, really heavy-duty machine, but this is a nice machine for now. But a heavy-duty one would really help to get that thick fur through the machine. Okay. And I backed up a little bit. Looks good. Speaking of helping my machine, it's been a while since I kind of opened it up and cleared out some of the dust. So especially with all the faux fur that I sew, if you sew faux fur, you really, once you're done with your project, you should really clean out your machine. And all machines are different, but mine has 2 screws right here that you can use. You use the same thing to loosen up your needle. It's like a tiny little key. Let me find a little key. Here's a little key. So you can use this to unscrew your needle to replace it, or down here, these 2 screws. So you can just lift off this plate and you can get a little brush. Usually, sometimes it comes with one. Let me see. I think I had to buy this separate. But this cute little brush, you can kind of brush some of the dust out, and frankly, it gets so dusty in there from the faux fur that I usually get my shop vac out and I just kind of stick it in there, and I try to use the brush to get the brush to loosen the dust into the air so this shop vac can get it out. So yeah, you gotta do that once in a while. If you don't, it'll clog up your machine and possibly damage it. You don't want that, so I'm not sure how often you're supposed to clean your machine, but probably just, yeah, once in a while. Kind of like your bed sheets. You should probably do it more than you do it. I need to wash my bedding right now. It's been too long. Okay, I also need to clean my fish tank. The reason I'm bringing these things up is because it's what I gotta do after I'm done streaming. It's on my mind right now. I gotta clean the fish tank. That takes hours. And frankly, washing my bedding takes hours too, because you know, washing comforters and stuff. I don't like to do it that often because it takes so long, but you gotta do it. But it's so nice and when you're done. Okay. So I'm wondering how much of this I should do off stream, because this is kind of the more fun part, but I also don't want it to be horribly monotonous. Like when I was doing a lot of the detail work, finishing up on the foam head, I don't think anybody missed out on anything when I was just doing tiny little snips that you could barely even see in the camera. Like, not sure. I want to strike a balance. I want to do most of the important work on stream so you guys can kind of follow along and just hang out. But really, I am not sure if it's any fun to watch me sew this or not, so... This might be a good thing to sew fully on stream, though. It doesn't take that long. I mean, we're making some pretty good progress. So here's the back of the head now. We've got these 4 pieces together. Let us put it back over on the head itself. I just need like a 3rd or 4th, 5th camera. Okie dokie. That's what Mario would say. So this goes right here. And now you've got the balding man haircut. It says it doesn't have anything on the top. It looks kind of silly. Okay. So here's the back of the neck. Goes down here. And the top of the head that goes up here. Wowee. That's looking nice. So let's bring the... It's dark. It is too dark. Alright. Bring the camera around a little bit. Cool. So here's the whole back of the head going on here. Nice and fluffy. Just the way I like it. So, let's sew these 3 pieces together. Finally, the toupee. The toupee will not be alone. It will be sewn onto the rest. And let's finish the whole neck today. That sounds like a good plan. We'll finish the whole top back of the head and the neck, and then we'll start working on the face part tomorrow, maybe. I think I stream actually, but I can start showing you guys with these pieces. You can put the muzzle. We've got the muzzle here. Which way does this go? I believe it goes here. I believe this goes here. Does this go here? Yes, it does. This goes here. So you can sort of start to see it coming into shape a little bit. Very exciting. We've got to do a whole thing on... I decided we'll do the eyelids and the nose the same day. Probably once we get all this fur on there. Okay, so let's get the top of the head sewn on. Woo. Okay. So here's something that's useful. This seam, when I'm drawing the seams on the pattern while I'm working on it, keep this in mind that it is very helpful to have the seams connect. So if you have 2 pieces, try to make the seams... I'm sure I already went over this when we were talking about patterning, like doing the tape pattern, but try to make the seams connect. So like if it was somewhere right in the middle here, it would be a lot harder to try to make sure this was perfectly aligned. But since this seam connects perfectly onto this one, it's a lot easier to figure out exactly where this piece goes. Hopefully that makes sense. So that's a good place to start. When we have 2 pieces that we need to connect, start right on that seam, because we know those 2 pieces need to be stuck together. Okay. Camera, can you just... Oh. Okay, here we go. So same as before, just kind of pinch it together, tuck that fur in, and we'll use the clips. Nice. I'm not choking on fur yet, actually. I mean, I was earlier, but not anymore. It's pretty nice. Maybe it's the fan, the tiny little fan I have over there. Maybe it's blowing it away. Okay, so you might get to a point where, well, I'm sure you will. Well, when you're pinning this, it's kind of like at a curve. It's not like a straight line anymore. This is a curved edge that we're trying to pin together. That's okay. I would start with the middle piece and then the piece right on the edge. Because you don't want the edge piece to be like this, or like this. You want it to be right even. So start with the edge piece and pin that. Oop. Oh, I threw that clip. I threw it on the ground. Alright, and then start with this middle piece, which I did. And then you can more easily get this whole center piece evened out. So whenever I'm dealing with a piece that's kind of awkwardly shaped or curved, I usually do that. I'll start with one end and then the other end, and then I'll do the middle. Because you don't want it to be bunched up awkwardly just because you accidentally pinned it and sewn. Because you accidentally pinched and sewn it wrong. That sounds wrong. You had sewn it wrong. What is English? I don't like English anymore, actually. I'll go back to French class. I was bad at French, by the way. It was fun, but boy, I was bad at it. Alright, see, same here. We put that middle piece together where we know the line goes across, and we put the edge together. Nice flat edge. Now this middle section that's a little more confusing, we can tuck the fur in, kind of just like mess with it a little, try to make it all tucked in, and there we go. There we go. Got it. It's a little bit confusing at first. Once you realize, like, once you know in your head how to mess with the fur, how to make the fur listen to you, not the other way around, it's not so bad. But yeah, you do have to learn how to fight with the fur, which sounds weird, but it's true. Okay, so we've got this piece. It's very round. That's good. It's supposed to be round. Oh, do you like my Beast pants? I love Beast. Speaking of fans, you asked in the past stream if you wanted to do a head fan. You definitely... Yes! Yeah. I was gonna ask you about that, actually. Again, I was gonna ask you. Because I couldn't remember if you said that or not. And the fans? I usually charge, like... What was it? 30? I think 34? Because half of that is the price of the fan, and the other half is the other materials and time for installation. But I think I was just gonna give it to you because of yeah, my bad customer service. Anyways, I'm gonna put a fan in the head for you. Sorry about that. If you can forgive me for being a really bad, neglectful, not answering your DMs, oops, I'm sorry, kind of thing. Okay. We're getting there. And this is a very fluffy part. Like, the other, once it's shaved, it'll be a little different too, putting it through, because the shaved pieces, I mean, it's a little bit easier and a little bit harder. It's weird to explain. Trying to pinch and clip the fur that's not shaved is different than the fur that is shaved. You have to fight with the fur, whether it's long or short, basically. It fights you. You might need more clips with the short fur, because the short fur tries to get out easier. It tries to escape easier. It's almost harder to clip the short fur, honestly. Alright, so here's another really awkward random tip. I'm sewing something right now that's kind of on a curve. It's not laying flat exactly. I mean, look at it. It's curved. Either I can do it like this, where it's kind of U-ing up, or I could put it face down. And given my preference, I will always put it like this, where it's going up. And the reason I do that is it's, personally for me, I'm able to get a better straight stitch through this as I go, because I can kind of flow it through the machine like that, rather than having it upside down like this and kind of pushed and crinkle. It'll kind of crinkle the edges. So given the choice, I would have it curved up like this, the way I have it, if you have to sew a curved section. Yee! You're so good, Renn. I would 100% recommend a fan in the head, especially if your maker is willing to do it for not like $1 million, because I think every fursuit needs a fan. After trying both, after trying both with and without a fan, I 100% say every fursuit needs a fan. Even if you're like the best, strongest person in the world, like able to withstand thousands of degrees of heat, like, even you would benefit from a fan. Man, it's so hot in here. I don't want to open the window because then people outside will hear me being a furry. Also, it's kind of late. And not really late, but kind of late. It's kind of late. 10:30. It's not super late, but... Alright. So let's see. Did this seam turn out well? This side looks good. This side looks good. Okay, so see how this is curved, and I put it through the machine. The light is just in a bad spot right now. Down maybe? Okay, I'm trying. Let's put it back here. Let's try that. Okay, I put it through the machine like this, like banana-ing up. If I put it banana-ing down, it's a completely different beast. But it is doable. It's just shaped different. Man, it would be great if I could just get this thing to listen to me. I am the boss. You are the light. You are just the light. You are nothing else. You listen to me now. Okay, so if you have it face down like this, it is doable. You're just gonna have to really mess with this to make sure that when it goes through the machine, it's flat. So if I just try to flap it down, like the only part that the machine can actually see the edge on is this very center piece. Like me holding it up to my other camera because my other one's too dark. If I flap it down, the only piece the sewing machine can actually get the needle down through is right in the center here, because the rest of this is kind of curved under. So if you want to do it face down like this, you got to kind of pull it out of the way. You got to kind of keep rearranging it as you push it through the machine to make sure that the needle can actually go through the edge. Otherwise, if you do it upside down like this, which is honestly my preferred way, you stick it in there and you just kind of keep going and curving the fabric up with the curve here. I know that's really weird. I hope that makes sense. I'll explain it again one day when I'm not using black fur. Yeah. You're dying at that. I don't want to open the window because then people will hear me being a furry. Furry noises intensifies. That's true. One of our neighbors just moved out, so I guess we have less neighbors to hear me being a furry, so that's good. Della feels that with me. We feel that. Especially these curved pieces. Make sure you're getting a good enough seam allowance, because whenever I do them, I tend to get too close to the edge, and then I have to go over it again, because I didn't do a good enough seam allowance. Ugh. I've seen it happen, not to any of my suits, but when I visit, like when I go to fur meets, like fur bowls, I've seen other people's suits, and they let me look at them. The ones that let me look at them, most people let me look at their suits. I've seen it happen where they didn't leave that 1/4 inch or so seam allowance. They they had sewn too close to the edge, and instead of holding that seam, it just frayed and it ripped, and then they had a huge hole. Then to fix it, sometimes I fix people's suits if they need help and I know how to do it. If it's an easy fix, I have to like completely add a whole new seam, and that will in the end that makes the entire thing a tiny bit smaller because I had to add a new seam and a new seam allowance. So like, do it right the first time. Make sure you have a good seam allowance. It's nice to have a few days off in a row because I've actually been able to stream. It's wonderful. My paycheck's not going to be as big because I'm not working as many hours, but that's fine. I need to have a mix of both work and fursuit and I guess downtime. I haven't been giving myself enough downtime, personal downtime, but I mean, with all the family issues we've been having lately, everybody I know is flippin' dying. Like, I just haven't had time for myself. So it was nice getting to play a game with my brother earlier. Almost there. Alright, got it. So I'm just gonna check, make sure this looks good. Okie dokie. Nice. I like it. So now we've got the back of the head piece. Where's that last one? Okay. So, let us sew. This is the back of the head piece, and here's the back of the neck piece. So, I'm just gonna attach that. Let's pin it. I don't want to have to readjust my whole camera just to pin this, though. Here's the bottom of the head. And here's the bottom of the neck. Okay. I gotta pin that. Okay, so there's a tiny bit of overlap down here. Tiny bit of overlap is okay to cut off. If it's really bad overlap, then, like this bottom piece is hanging out a little bit further than the top piece. You probably can't even see it on the camera, but I can a little bit, so I'm gonna just even that out. And that's fine. It's never gonna be perfect, but if it's really bad, like 1/2 inch or larger, you may have accidentally tried to stitch two pieces that were wrong together. And you do not want to stitch wrong pieces together, because then you'll have to unstitch them, and it takes hours. Like, unsewing something, like getting the seam ripper and ripping it apart, takes like 3 times as long as sewing it together. So, like, it's like one of those cut before you measure, like, measure before you cut kind of things. You wanna check, make sure you have the right pieces before you sew it, for sure. My brother seems like a sweet person. He is! He's a good boy. He is very nice. He kind of looks like a hobo a little bit, but I love him. It's just a joke because he's got such long hair. I think our whole family, we just love long hair, I think. But the joke is that he looks like a hobo because he's so funny. He's got the long hair and he's got a mustache. Sorry, I'm pinning this kind of off the camera. I don't want to have to rearrange the whole camera just to pin this. We're getting to the point where I'm like, please don't make me rearrange the camera again. He's awesome, but he's also kind of terrifying. Yes! That's the best way to explain it. He has a presence, you know? Oh, it's so hot. Can I eat this fan? Probably because he's a jazz kid. Yeah, right? He does command a presence, doesn't he? Like, when he walks in the room, you're like, oh, there's Dan. heck? How did he become, like, a popular kid? I was not a popular kid. Is it because of the jazz band? Is that why he's popular? I mean, he is a really cool, and he's really funny. I don't know. He does have good personality, but it's also, if I was his age, I would say he was pretty hot, so. Oh, hi! Okay, I'm kind of blind. I thought that said bad lemon. I was like, poor lemon. Hey, lemon, how you doing? Thank you for saying hi. Yeah, for our time zone, Eastern Standard Time? It's EST. It's 10:38 right now, so it's getting kind of late. Not really, but it's a little bit. You know, Phil, I know you're married and you're my brother-in-law, but if we were in a different situation, I would say you're pretty hot, too. Okay. I think I got this correct. I'm just checking because if I sew this and then it's wrong, I will be sad because it'll be so much effort to fix. I never considered anyone in my friend group popular at our school, but he's definitely well liked. True. Being popular is such a weird thing, you know? You lie. Nuh-uh. Oh, that's cool. With the time zone thing, you never know. Like, there's this one person, oh god, what's their name? They changed their name, so I forgot what it was, but they're in Germany, so their time zone is completely flip-flopped. So a few hours off is not bad, at least. Well, he knows he's onto me. He knows that I secretly have been trying to dispose of him for a while. How dare you marry my sister? Yeah, very cool. I think it's cool. Ever since day one, I've been trying to get Phil out of here. IDK at our school, band kid instantly means not popular. That's so funny. High school, am I right? I went to a boarding school, and it was kind of weird because in our school, band kid meant popular, but also not popular at the same time, depending on who you asked. It's just kind of bizarre. Alright, how am I gonna sew this? Keeps trying to fluff on me. Oh no, I think Phil's coming for me. He's in the hallway. Okay, I think it was a fake out. I thought he was gonna come and murder me, but actually, no, I guess I'm okay. Again, I forgot to turn it off of Zigzag Stitch. Oops. You were from somewhere on Latin America. Yeah, that's close enough for me. I remember when I was a little bit younger, and the 3DS was asking me, like, for Street Pass, like, what state I live in. I was like, am I allowed to tell the 3DS what state I live in? Like, oh, it's Phil.
Where's the camera? Is it the one
Here.
in the laptop?
It's that one. Kitty! Oh! Phil brought the kitty! Bye, kitty! Bye, Phil!
Oliver's like, get me out of here.
Yeah! Oliver's such a good boy. He didn't like being carried, but he allowed it. I love my kitties. One of my friends texted me because I know I have like 1,000 cats already, and they're like, hey, my boyfriend's mom found this cat in the junkyard. Do you want it? And then they texted me a picture of that Persian cat's face, and I was like, yeah. It's true, I tried to get rid of Fel, but he wouldn't leave. Honestly, foul sighting! Turn on the alarms. I did get him to play Sonic Adventure 2 with me once. Battle. We were doing the battle stages. That was fun. I have to drag him into another stage. Oh, you know what? I got him to play Lego Knights Kingdom also. That was also a fun train wreck. High quality fun train wreck though. I mean, we made it fun. I should get him to play some more stuff with me. Okay, just gotta do the zigzag stitch and then we can slap this thing on the head and see how it looks. Cute, I know! I love the kitty! Yeah, you never know what you're gonna get. With band kids, you get a lot of weirdos, but you also get a lot of funny kids. And honestly, some of the funniest kids I've ever met were in band. So, I mean, how many stories do you hear, like, that start off with that one time in band camp, you know? Like, those are where the best stories originate. Almost there. Alright. Now let's put this on and see how it looks. You guys are gonna have to tell me though. Alright, I really like my new mullet. You guys are gonna have to rate it for me. Mullet, 0 out of 10 or 10 out of 10. You're gonna have to tell me. I think it looks pretty good. Oh boy, that's a problem. What if I just what if I just mailed you a mullet, like 10 out of 10? Thank you for that. I know, I couldn't decide, but I'm glad you guys helped me figure out. 10 out of 10 without a doubt. I'm glad you guys could experience that with me. Woo! And today, the toupee turned into a mullet. Alright, so this is fun. We've got the whole back of the head now. We'll slap it on here. Oh, fluffy, fluffy. Very cute. Okay. Back of the head and the neck. It's dark because the light took a dive. Come back here, you. And it's still dark, even with the light. That's nice. Yeah. So once we get the rest of the fur on, the rest of the face, it won't look so awkward. But yes, Renn is currently wearing a mullet. Yeah. Let us finish. Yeah, we could do a little bit more. I wanted to at least do the neck piece before I stopped today. That's pretty great. So yeah, the piece I have up here. Oops. Oh dear, it's trying to fall. Don't fall. Okay. The piece I have up here will be shaved. So it's like the difference, like where do you stop? Like at what point does it stop becoming the front of the face and like the rest of the head? Like at what point do you start the long fur? And usually I'll start the long fur right here. And it looks kind of silly going from the short fur to the long fur, but that's okay because this is exactly right where the big fur tuft, like the head tuft comes from. It's exactly where that part goes. This right here. So it covers up that spot where it turns from long fur into short fur. See, here's Figby's turning from the short fur to long fur, and you never could tell. It looks like a nice transition. So the back of the head is all... Oh my gosh, I can't... Alright, come here, Figby. I'm picking you up. The back of the head is all long fur, and I'm just gonna hold it in front of my other camera, because that one is just giving up. This is all long fur here, so for the short fur up here, I think that's a pretty good transition, hiding underneath the head tuft here. Alright, now that I've made a big mess, Well, Mr. Woofs is here. He hasn't been here for a while. I know, it's completely down now. It's not even standing. I have never... Well, I was gonna say I've never had this much trouble with the camera, but that would be incorrect. I always have trouble with the camera. It just depends how much. If you had $1 for every band-related story you had, you'd be a millionaire. You've been interested... Oh, Lemon says, you've been interested in fursuits for a bit. Interested in all the making of them. Yeah, it's very fun. Really? Well, you know, there's not a lot of us that stream and make fursuits. I think I found one other person that found me in my stream and then followed me, and then I followed them because they told me in the chat that they make fursuits, but I actually haven't seen them streaming before. So I think there's one other person, but I haven't watched them, so I might be the only one, maybe? I'm sure there's a few others that I just don't know about, but that's pretty cool. I love fursuits too. I love them so much. It's such an artist. There's so much artistry. It's just, there's so much that goes into it. So many skills all in one big wrapped up thing that makes a fursuit. And it's just, it's a lot of work, but that's what makes it so fun. And they're so cute and so fun to wear. I just love everything about them. Alright, so let's get the front and the side of the neck done here. Let's see. I think this awkward piece goes right here, maybe? Right here, yeah. So that's where this piece goes. Oh boy. Oh, it's going down. Timber! The Parmesan cheese packet, yes! And if I had $1 for every band-related story I had that involved your brother or one of our other friends, you'd be even richer. Like, okay, the Parmesan cheese thing. I still find Parmesan cheese everywhere, by the way. Everywhere. Like, sometimes I'll go say hi to my brother in his room, and there was a Parmesan cheese packet at the foot of the door when I went to see him the other day. I laughed out loud. Ugh. Oh man, there's fur in my mouth. I hate that. I'm looking for a very specific spot, a very specific piece. Because I know I keep saying, let's finish the neck, but at the same time, I'm kind of wanting to do maybe something else. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, so this piece. Gee, I wonder where this goes. This is like the most obvious piece that you don't even have to label. So this piece goes here. And obviously the other side goes on the other side here. And this will look a lot better once we stuff the eyes in. But for now, these pieces go here. So this would be a good one to sew straight down the middle together. But let's go and do the eyebrows actually. Because Mr. Wuffs likes to jump also. I'm gonna put him back on Figby. He'll just sit over there. Her Snoopy heavy! It's true. It's one of the struggles I have, because the way I build my mouths like this, the nose is always heavier than the front, so it kind of bounces. So I kind of use that to my advantage. When I move, like, I bounce around, so his muzzle kind of, it's cute. About the Parmesan cheese packet. He literally just has an infinite supply. I'm convinced he pulls them out of thin air. Honestly, I would believe you if you told me that. Mr. Whoops is a bit of a skydiver. Seriously. He always going down. Even when I have the magnet on to keep him in place, he falls. He finds a way. You'd like to know how to make them. As far as I know, foam, lots of foam. Sadly, in your country, there isn't many faux fur colors or options. No! Oh, that's rough. Sorry, I keep getting fur blown in my face. That's kind of hard. You could at least make, I mean, to import it is very expensive, I'm sure. But you could at least make a black or a white one. Surely there's black or white. There's fur everywhere. Surely there's like a black or a white one you could find. Alright, but where did I put... Oh, here they are. Okay. Here's the eyebrows. And I'm going to do my best to get you better lighting again. There we go. Okay. It's kind of blown out, but at least I'd rather it be too bright than not bright enough. So here's the eyebrows. You have to sew them in. It's not easy because what we're dealing with here is stitching this within here. So yeah, this is not an easy task. So what you gotta do, what I do, is I like to start at the end of both sides, and then I'll do the center of both sides, and then, just like before, I do the edges, and then I'll kind of do the round pieces in between. So, let's do this instead of the neck, because we kind of did a lot of the neck. I think I'm going to stitch some of this together off stream, but not all of it, just so it's not too repetitious, but you get to still see a lot of interesting parts. So I'll just do kind of more of the repetitive neck pieces off stream, I'm thinking, maybe. But for this hand sewing the eyebrow in, that I'll do with you. Because that one's unique. If there's white fur, there's a way to color it. That might be true. Is the thing is, from what I know about fabric dye, you need to put it in some kind of hot water, and any kind of heat completely obliterates faux fur. It melts it instantly. So I don't know if you can... Well, I mean, there must be a way to dye it because they make it dyed, but I don't know. I've never looked into dyeing faux fur, but I'm not sure if it's possible once it's already left the factory and created. Whoa! We got Della and Black Fur on here at the same time? What even? Hey, how you doing? That's fun. You know, that's pretty rare. It's been a while. I hope you guys are both alive. Okay, so I know this is upside down for you guys. Sorry. This might be the best I can do, but at least you can kind of see what I'm doing here. So I'm going to start with the edge of the eyebrow here. The very tip I'm going to sew in. So I'm just going to kind of line it up kind of close, and I'm going to see where I want this centerpiece to stitch into. So it looks like right here would be good. So I'm going to sew into there and sew into here. So these are the two pieces I want to sew together first. So I'm going to bring them together, pinch it like this, and I'm just going to do a few really good stitches. Ooh, make sure I get it nice and sturdy because I don't want it ripping out. I actually killed Abby, my bad. Sad heart. That's depressing. You're actually playing Minecraft for once. Wow! I haven't played Minecraft in like a year, legitimately. That would be fun, I think. I remember a while back we talked about how fun it would be if we like streamed and or just like did a group play session with all of our friends, all of us together. Alpaca, I can't pronounce that. Aplico Mafia. Okay, I think I got it. Hi! Thank you for following. I appreciate that. Argentina. Wow. You might be the first time, or the first person from Argentina. That's cool. I'm from Michigan, United States. Right, I'm in the glove, you know, somewhere in the glove. Figby, what platform do you play Minecraft on? Important question. I have it on PC, so I guess I could go Windows 10 or Java. There is a correct answer. Oh no. CloverCat simp. Java is the only correct answer. Okay, good. I'm so glad you have to say that because I do not like Windows 10 version. It's just me. I did actually have a CloverCat simp once. It was kind of weird. I'm not sure if they ended up getting blocked or if I just kind of... I don't know what happened to them, really. That was a while back on stream. It was very interesting. I've never been out of the country, so I've never been to Argentina or Chile or anywhere fun, but one day I'll get to see. Imagine not playing both Bedrock and Java. Yeah, I hate the Windows 10. Oh yeah, there's like a Bedrock also. What is the difference? There's so many. Oh. That is okay. Epico. I don't know how to say her name still. Mafia. That's okay. I hope you can understand anything I'm saying. I'm sorry. I'm very English. Oh yeah, is the mobile edition not Pocket anymore? Oh, what is SMP? Is that not simp? Is there a difference? Alright, I'm gonna sew this piece now. So completely ignore what we did back here. It's gonna get bunched up while we're working on this side, and that's okay. So just completely focus on this right here. We need to get the center of this eyebrow black piece into the center of this piece. So I'm gonna stitch through the center here, and stitch through the center of here. And again, I'm just gonna kind of tuck the fur in and pinch it. I'm gonna do a few good stitches to hold it tight. The survival multiplayer? What the heck? I thought we were talking about simps. Come on, guys. Don't you want to talk about simps? I've never heard of that in my life. SMP for survival multiplayer. That's very funny, I think. My favorite is still Java, but maybe that's just because I got used to. All the other versions just feel like add-ons to me. They don't feel like Minecraft. It feels weird. Maybe a little too bright. Let's turn it down a little. Okay. It's still kind of blown out. It's really hard to get the lighting good. Alright, so I'm just doing a few stitches on either side of this. Just like maybe 3 stitches wide. Like that stitch we did in the middle. I'm doing a few stitches on either side of it to try to give it some more stability. Okay, and double knot that and cut it off. Theoretically, you could use pins to hold this into place, but it's way too hard for me. I would rather just do a few different stitches and just do it like that. It's totally your choice. You know, I'm really bad at survival mode, too. Della's just dying over there because I didn't know the difference between simp and simp. Survival multiplayer. What? Are they really, Renn? I didn't know that. Really? You've never heard of an SMP? I'm kind of jealous. I mean, would you rather know of an SMP or a simp? Which one is worse to know? You know? Alright, so now I'm going to try to do either the top or the bottom of the eyebrow here. So, the bottom looks like it's going to be nice and easy for me, just because of the way the fur is kind of already tucked in. So I'm just going to, now that I got the edges done, I'm going to try to just straighten it out the best I can. And I'm going to try to make a knot right in the middle. And once you get to this point, you can use your needle to kind of stuff in some of that shorter fur. This is such a hard thing. Like, it's definitely one of the harder things to sew. Most of the sewing is pretty straightforward. You just do it. But when you're trying to sew the eyebrow within the other piece, that's when it's kind of hard. So just kind of tuck it in. You can use clips. I'm using clips right now. I think it'll be a little easier sometimes. If the clips can help you, definitely use them. Okay. So I've got this center piece. So now I can stitch this. some suit makers have t-shirts and stuff with their logo on it. Have you ever considered making those? Because you would rock one of those everywhere. Yo, would you really wear my merch if I made merch? Because I didn't ever think that anybody would want that. Oh no, I'm dying. That is amazing. Well, thank you. I mean, I've got the rainbow logo, like the rainbow CloverCat logo, but I could also choose really any color. I will have to design something cool. Oh, you guys! You guys are so sweet! Ah! You know, I had thought about making custom fabric so that I could get my logo, like custom fabric so that I could make CloverCat bandanas. I thought that would be cool, but I never thought of, like, actually doing merch. Oh, Lemon! That is so sweet! Let's make some CloverCats! I need to get some more stickers, because I had printed out some little stickers. They're just 1.5 inch wide round stickers that say CloverCat, and I slap them on stuff all the time. I love them. And, that would be a fun thing to send out, too. It's just some stickers, some CloverCat stickers to people. You just narrowly avoided a baby zombie. Bruh, you gotta live. Don't let those baby zombies get you. Stella, that is the sweetest thing. I am gonna explode. I'm actually just gonna explode. It's just shocking to me that anybody would really, truly appreciate and or even kind of like my art. It's just wild to me. You guys are gonna make me cry, I swear. Oh! Lemon, you are so sweet! Eee! Heart! Oh, Renn, that's cool. I would do that, probably on much bigger scale. I'm not really sure what kind of... Yeah, because, I mean, I'm sure... Yeah, I would need a bigger scale, for sure. But, yeah, I'm sure somewhere I can get some custom fabric printed. Della! Bro, what do you mean? I've got an old tangents with Cyrus about how much I love your suit style. I'm crying. You guys are literally so sweet. I do not deserve people that are willing to just, you know, be nice. You guys are the sweetest. All of you. Just gonna give you all hugs. Here we go. You know, I really need to do another Figby stream. Like, I don't usually do full suit streams just because, unlike other suitors, like, I don't know what to do. Like, I put on my first suit and I'm like, well, I look cool now, but now what do I do? Like, I honestly think I'm more comfortable making the suits than wearing one, but I like doing both. Alright, so I'm just gonna finish up the rest of the bottom here. That went really well. It didn't even bunch up or anything, which is good. That means I cut out the size basically perfectly when I was cutting out the eyebrow shape earlier. Out of the fur. Just order the buff mastiff size only. Right? Just like the biggest possible dog bandana you can find. You have wholeheartedly agreed with all those tangents. Black fur! Oh, Lemon, if you want to, it's totally up to you. If that sounds fun to you, then go ahead. I've got, like, a kind of a logo thing. I mean, if you want to, for fun, then go ahead. I think it's, I always liked drawing other people's characters and stuff. I think it's a fun thing to do, so if that would be fun to you, go ahead. I mean... Okay, we're almost done with the bottom of the eyebrow now. Once we're done with this, I usually like to either run it through the machine or hand stitch it, like, again, but really, really high quality. Good job stitching, because it's really hard to run something this small through the machine, especially the edge here. The rest of this might be doable through the machine, but especially right here would be hard. So I might just have to keep hand stitching it to get it in. Get it in there and sturdy enough. Okay, so yeah, just tuck this fur in. I'm gonna use some clips again to try to keep this edge straight. Oh, where I got the name CloverCat? Well, actually, I've always liked the name Clover, and before I even thought of the idea of using a fursuit, making a fursuit business or a fursuit business name, I had a D&D character that I had called Clover, and she was Clover Green. She was a green harpy, because I like harpies. Basically, they're just bird girls. So she was like a green feathered bird girl named Clover, and I really like the name Clover. And Beetle Cat, you probably know of Beetle Cat. She is, I think she's a girl. She is another fursuit maker that does some really excellent work. And I really liked the way that sounded, like the double, like the double thing, kind of like a warrior cat name, how it has like two parts to it. And I didn't want to steal the cat part of it, but I really did like the idea of CloverCat. So I wasn't, it's kind of a little bit of a riff off of Beetle Cat, but not really. If that makes sense. I didn't intend to steal Beetle Cat's name, but I didn't really. Oh no, are you serious? I'm so sorry, Blackfur. If you need me to repeat, I can. I'm so sorry. Flippin' ads. That reminds me, now that it's tax time, and I've gotten like a single paycheck from Twitch, now I have to actually deal with that. The Twitch paycheck thing in the taxes. Just kill me now. Okay, don't worry, you heard. That's good. I'm a pretty long explainer, so I'm sure by the time I got through the intro, you already got to hear the good important part. Yeah, I hate the ads. I wish I could turn off the ads, but unfortunately, they don't really give me the option. Okay, this part was a little bit harder. I'm gonna clip this immediately before I drop it again. So if you're still like lining it up like me, like you're still trying to line it up and clip it, do not start sewing it until you're positive that it's all clipped in the right spot, because I thought this part was good, and then by the time I finished working on the end here, I actually needed to shove this piece down a little bit more to make it fit better. So if I had sewn this piece, and then I went to work on this piece, I would have screwed myself up bad. So that's why I like to do the two ends, and then line it all up with clips and pinching it, then sew it. That's why I haven't started sewing yet, because I wanted to make sure it was lined up perfectly. Right? I think Beetle Cat has been doing this for many, many, many years. But also, her style is a lot different than mine. Obviously, the realistic style is a completely different skill set. Something that I'm not interested in learning, actually. At least not at the moment. I'm pretty happy with my cartoony sets, fursuit designs, but I do want a realistic suit one day, so, you know? Since 2005, wow. Yeah, that's a long time. Like, I did my first suit in 2017, so... Yeah, they've been around for a while, for sure. I'm pretty sure it's a girl. I'm pretty sure Beetle Cat is a girl, but... Yeah. Don't quote me on that. Their stuff is very impressive. It uses a lot of, like, those suits use a lot of airbrushing, though. And the thing about that is, it does make me a tad nervous with airbrushing. I've never owned my own airbrushed suit, though, so I can't say how easily it comes off, but it's definitely something that you gotta get repairs on. It's not something that you can just, as long as you're careful when you're washing it, it'll be fine. Not like a toonie suit. Like, you have to get it re-airbrushed before it fades too much, Otherwise, you won't be able to re-airbrush it properly. So it's like the maintenance of that makes me a little bit nervous. Realistic suits look insanely awesome, but I've always had a preference towards the more cartoony ones. Yeah, honestly, me too, I think. I think if I was more into the realistic suits, that's probably the path I would have taken. I just think the cartoony suits are so cute. You're neutral. You think it depends on the character. I could see that, for sure. I definitely could see that. It makes sense. I think it's fun to have... Like, I also really, really like semi-toony suits. Like, the ones that are basically toony, but they have kind of, like, more realistic eyes and eyebrow shape, or... Yeah, basically. I think those are really cool, too. But again, it's gotta be the right kind of character. Oh, bruh, I totally forgot about kimono suits, dude. So kimono suits, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure those originated in Japan, and or just the style of that originated in Japan. Or something about the way they're designed is to look Japanese, but honestly, most of the people I follow on Twitter that make kimono suits are Japanese, so I figure that most of them are already living in Japan, but they are very, very cute. Basically, if you think of the Pokemon Zeraora, but you blow up its forehead like 5 times, that's like a kimono suit. They're so cute. Okay, Aries would be a really, really, really cool semi-toony suit. Like, but I think any character could go toony, or, honestly, almost any character could go toony and be cute. But Aries could be a really cool semi-toony suit. Yeah, this initial stitch all the way around on the eyebrows is quite difficult to get it just perfect, but once you get the initial stitch done, going around it a few more times for durability does not take as long, so you don't have to worry about that, at least. Doesn't take super long the next time. Dude, I'd kill for a kimono suit too. I know I'm gonna make one day. I will. But I actually have not looked into it, how they do the eyes, because I'm pretty sure the only airflow they get is through the mouth, which in that style, the mouth is like this big and the eyes are this big. But I don't think you can see through the eyes even, can you? Maybe? Okay, maybe you can, because they use the mesh, and then they could use the mesh, and I know they put this, like, globe piece over it. I know, gosh, years ago when I first started looking into the furry fandom, and I used to watch a lot more of Pokari Rue's videos, I know they were explaining kimono suits, and I remember that was when I first heard about them, and I do believe they said that it is possible for the kimono suit eyes, like that plastic level layer, to get foggy, and I was like, oh no, imagine that. But okay, that would be helpful. I'm so bad with I'm so bad. I'm trying my best, I swear I am, but I'm so bad with them. I think it's just my generation, because my generation is not... We grew up before that really existed. Like, the whole pronoun choice thing, it just didn't exist. So, now that I'm trying to get used to it, I'm trying to be with the times, but it's just very hard for me to try to remember. I think I'm doing okay for the most part, but it's tough. It's tough. And I'm always worried that I'm gonna mess up and, like, make somebody upset. So it was really cool when... Okay, well, this is a kind of a double story. It was cool when I went to MFF, the last MFF. I think it was 2021. Yeah. And, they had little name tags that said your preferred pronouns. That was cool. That was very cool. Because when you go to talk to somebody, you immediately know. You don't have to ask, hi, what's your name? What are your pronouns? Like, it's just kind of like an excessive extra step. But, the second part of that story is we were the one of the last few people to actually check in, and they didn't have any pronoun tags left, so yeah, we didn't get pronoun tags. So it was a cool idea. I loved that. It would have been great if they had more stock. That's what I'll say about that. But I do love that idea. I hope Anthrocon does that, because I can't wait to go to Anthrocon, and I think it'll be helpful. Yeah, it is hard to remember everyone's pronouns. Ugh. Okay, don't look at my foot. Sorry. Okay, so this is what it looks like. This is the top. Looks great. You can tell I did a good job shaving the fur because frankly, I've done so much fur shaving. I know how long I want the fur to be, but you can tell it's mostly the same length. Once we have it all on the head, we're going to do like a final pass on the shaving, like a final shave. Make sure everything looks nice and even. But for now, this is already a very close shave. Get it? A close shave. That's funny to me, I think. Okay. So this goes here. Oh. Come on, light. And camera. Right? I would die of heat stroke if I wore a kimono suit, but it would be worth dying for, I think. It would look really cool for at least a little while before your death. Alright, I keep dropping pieces. I think this is the last thing I'm gonna do tonight because I'm getting tired. But I would like to show you guys how this looks with the eyebrow on there. It's fun once you get the eye in there and you can kind of start to imagine. Alright, we have the eye. Turn on the lights. It's dark. Cute! Alright, still looks janky, obviously, without the rest of the pieces. But yeah, that's what we got. It is an eyebrow for sure. It's almost like the more light I add, the worse it gets sometimes because it can't focus as good. Let's see what happens if I just turn off the light. It might be better. It is not. But she's very cute. She's getting there. I'm very excited. This is the short part. Like, honestly, the longest part for me is doing the foam work. That always takes the longest. Once the foam work is done, I blaze a path. This part is easy. It's just that initial foam shaping that I have to be very careful to make look good. Otherwise, you hit uncanny valleys. So, glad that part's done. I don't like doing the foam as much. But this is the fun part for sure. I really like that. Where'd the eyebrow go? The other one. So I'm going to stitch some more of these together off stream so I can just get some of it done because it's going to be a lot of hours of just sewing it and not much really happening. But I won't go too far without you guys. I'll just kind of get some of the boring pieces done, like the neck maybe and some of the extra durability stitching around the eyebrow. Blackfur says, you try my best, but even then I have to jump around if I'm talking to my family in reference to certain people, because they're... Yeah, right! It's hard! It's very hard. You don't want to upset anyone by calling them the wrong thing, and it isn't acceptable! Right? Unless you're cosplaying as, like, a toaster or something, you really can't ever call anyone it, which sucks. I just default to they, them if I'm not sure. That's honestly probably the best thing. It's like you can't win, though, because if somebody calls me a they, them, it doesn't insult me, but it's definitely not preferred. I don't really like it, but I won't be upset by it. It's just like, you can't really win. It's like you have to know or ask to win. But honestly, they, them is probably safer than going he, she, and getting it wrong. But, yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think, honestly, it's probably the best plan. Usually people don't get upset as long as you're trying and not actively ignoring their pronouns to be rude. Yeah! Okay, I saw a video on something at some point. There's this guy on... I don't even use TikTok, so I don't even know how I got on this video. There's a video of this guy on TikTok just actively, purposely misgendering people. And I was like, who hurt you, you know? Oh, cool, Lemon! Awesome, yeah. Do you have, did you join the server? If you join the server, you can post it there. We could all see, if you don't mind. I can send you the link. There we go. So that should do it. Yes! Okay, Streamlabs is good. I watch... Okay. Yee! Thank you! I'm so excited to see what you've come up with. This is just cursed because I don't have enough lighting. No matter how hard I try. It's just a dark character. Which, honestly, is not usually a problem when you're taking photos. If your entire character is dark, it's just... If you're standing next to somebody else, another character that's very bright, then you have a problem. You gotta choose one or the other, because cameras don't know how to focus on dark and light. And I think that's kind of the problem here, because the white against the dark here, it's not really know how to focus on it, so... If your friend goes by they, them, and you're trying to talk to your mom about them, and I refer to them by their preferred pronouns, your mom will just... your mom will just be like, who's they? And I pass away. Literally, me listening to my brother talk with my mom, because his girlfriend goes by they, them, and when he's talking about his do you even say girlfriend? Am I supposed to say girlfriend? See, I don't know. His significant other goes by they, them, and he was talking to his mom, our mom, about it. And when he says they, my mom gets so confused. And frankly, I do get confused sometimes, but not as confused as my mom. I think my generation is learning to use it properly. Our parents' generation, they're too far gone. They have such a hard time. Take a shot every time I say and. It's actually a good reminder to drink some water. Renn, I'd be KO. Partner? Really? I've heard my brother say significant other, so I'll just use that. I'll have to ask both of them which they prefer. Again, it's like another step. It's like, what's your name? What's your pronouns? What is your preferred relationship status title? Like, it's just a lot of awkward questions, you know? But yeah. Your mom seems like she gets more irritated than confused. Honestly, okay, you're right. I think you're right. My mom too. It's just because they just don't really... It's like I don't blame them. It's a completely new generational way of interacting with other people. So it's like I don't blame them, but at the same time, yeah, it's like an awkward thing that people are gonna have to get used to. That's just the way the world is now. Older generations like Gen X and above seem to get mad at things that's stupid. Yeah. I definitely empathize with that, but at the same time, you know, the world has changed. You gotta move on and kind of, you know, you gotta work with the world, not against it. So just do the best. You gotta do the best you can to really just try to make everybody happy, like, not purposely, accidentally. I know it's an extra step. It is, and it's kind of annoying and frustrating, and I hate that part about it, that it's kind of awkward. You gotta ask, you gotta remember, but it is a nice thing that people are able to actually be able to choose these things now, when in the past, people had to either not at all get the choice, or in the past, not just keep it secret, which kind of sucks. So it's kind of, I can see why they would be annoyed. It is a frustrating new addition to the world of socializing, but yeah. Oh no! My mom has solidified the thought it would be a very bad idea to come out to her, so... Oh no, I'm so sorry. When she saw Aries' tail the day he dropped it off, I felt my soul exiting my body. Cyrus's mom not a big fan of furries. That sucks. Unfortunately, there's not really much we can do to change her mind other than hope she changes her mind one day, but at least we're there for you. I'm sorry about that, but there are other people that are there for you in the areas that your mom cannot be. I'm sorry. I think it confuses them. Then they get upset because they don't understand it, don't see the point in learning. That is such a good way to put it. Yeah, honestly. Truthfully. It's like me. Okay, that was like me when I was trying to learn how to do Mega Picross the other day. I don't... What is the point? Why are the numbers bigger? I couldn't figure it out, and it made me mad, okay? And then I went back to regular Picross. My mom's already mad that your sister's not normal because she's goth and there's me. No! But there really is no such thing as normal anymore. I mean, honestly, I don't think there ever was, but... Yeah. That's sorry, Blackfur. I know it's kind of hard to feel like you're different, maybe. I don't know. I don't really know, because my mom has been kind of pretty supportive. I mean, the they-them thing, she's still kind of trying to understand, but at least for my furry stuff, she's been pretty supportive, so I can't really empathize, but I definitely sympathize. I'm sorry. I feel like singular they, their, them has been used since before English became English, and don't find that difficult. You do understand that for other people might need some time. That's a good point, actually. Honestly, long time ago when language was just kind of probably first starting, there probably wasn't a difference. That's something I never thought about, but honestly, you're probably right. Did you ever get to post that? Because if you did, I would like to give it a look before I, oh yeah. Great. Checking my server messages. That's something else that I never do. I'm sorry. I'm so bad. I'm trying. I've been doing the DMs. I've been doing better on the DMs, but... Oh, that is so cute. I wonder if I can bring the... Sharing screens does not work for me, okay? It gives me the worst time, so instead of sharing screens, I'm just gonna hold this camera up so you guys can see it on stream. That is so cute! It's got, like, the cloverified eyebrows and hair and eyes and nosy, and even, like, a tiny little brooch or... brooch? Brooch? What is that? How do you pronounce that word? That is so cute! You should do commissions! That is adorable. And I love that it's the clover colors. Eee. Thank you, Lemon. That's really cute. I will save that. I have a very small little area of, a small little folder on my computer of some fan arts and some art people have made for me. I'll definitely save it there, because that is super cute. Yeah, the lighting is just... Oh, there's the bird. The griffin, I guess, in the back. I have to send a photo to Ace to see if he likes the way this looks. I think I like it, but I don't like the ear. I think the ears need to be more laid back. And frankly, they look too wolfish, so I think I'm going to redo the ear, but other than that, the griffin over there looks pretty good to me. Yeah, Lemon, I love that. That's adorable. That was so nice of you to sketch up. Thank you. That was really cute. Yeah, trying to get the lighting on this is not great. It will be better, though, is all I'm going to say. Once we get most of the darker fur on there, the camera will know what to do with it better. It'll be able to catch the light better. It'll know what to do with the lighting. Only a select few people know you're furry. It is weird, because back in your younger days, it was extremely unacceptable. I guess it's better now. Yeah, right? Like, I was a Warrior Cats fan, right? And I loved going on the forums and doing role plays with Warrior Cats, but like that was unacceptable. Like people would tease you, and even my siblings thought it was weird. Like, what the heck are you doing? But like now it's normal. Now I found out years later that everybody was doing roleplay growing up, but yeah, coming out as a Warrior Cats fan. That was like, I know what it feels like to try to come out as a Warrior Cats fan or a furry. I've done that. I've done it. It's scary. Extreme bullying material. Seriously, it's rough. Even the older generations use singular they, them sometimes. Like, I know an example people use to demonstrate singular version is when you're talking to someone over the phone and you can't tell what their gender is based on how their voice sounds. What do you call them? Right? You know, okay, honestly, this is gonna sound weird. The first time that I really ever woke to the idea of they, them being a thing was when I played Undertale. Because that was the first time. Like, okay, I've never been huge on social media. Like, and just in my friend groups, it was just never really a thing. I never even heard of the whole they, them thing, or choosing your pronouns. I've never even heard of it. I played Undertale, and boy, that was a trip, because for the first time, I was playing a character that was constantly called they or them. Not he, not her, and it was weird. It took a lot of time for me to get used to it, but frankly, Undertale helped me kind of start to get used to that idea. I know that sounds weird. Like, what are you talking about? You can't tell me that's the first time you heard of it, but frankly, I can thank that game for trying to help me kind of normalize something that I wasn't used to before. Also, yes, Bird. Bird is back there. Oh, Lemon, yeah, I see. No, that's good. If you ever want to, you can post in our Discord server, in the CloverCat server, you can post your art, and if you want, you can say you're open for commissions. If you want to do commissions anytime, or if you just want to show off your art, you're totally welcome, because we love to see art, and your art is cute. And if you want to do commissions, you can. Black versus, most of your friends know you're a furry, but you don't think any of your family knows, although your mom should take a guess by now. Mother! Also, I must say it's been funny seeing the memes of extreme few straight furries, right? See, my problem is I'm a single straight furry. Those few things together. Yeah, it's strange. It is strange being one of the few. You and I, Renn, we can be the minority. It is weird. It is weird. It's still mortifying when people IRL find out you're a furry. Yeah, right. Right. So it's so weird. You're right, Lemon. Like, furry media is everywhere. Literally everywhere. I mean, flippin' Mickey Mouse. But if you wanna be like a furry, then you're weird. Like, I don't get where is that line? Where there are definitely lots of furries in pop culture. Yeah, for sure. Right? The media, oh boy. Like, when I first told my mom, I'm this thing called a furry, it's when, like, first I showed her my costumes and my characters, and I was like, this is actually, there's a group of people that actually do this a lot. It's not just me. They're called furries, and they make costumes like me and characters, and they like to draw these characters and do role plays. Like, we like to write stories together, and she's like, that's cool. And then the first thing she did later on was she looked up what is a furry, and all of the media at the very top of the list of Google was telling her all these horrible things, and I was like, no! So later on she's like, hey, so I was reading what furries are you sure you want to be a part of that? And I'm like, no, Mom, no! And then I had to go over the whole explanation. Yeah, it was pretty rough at first. She knows now that only a select few are like that, and that the media blows it out of control. But That's awful. That's awful that just somebody could just look up, like, out of curiosity, was a furry, and get all the worst results right at the top of the search. It's terrible. Right? No! It was bad. That was bad. That's okay, Black Fur. That's one thing. Like, every fandom has its weird people, but if you put that aside, if you're just looking at the good people, that's one super huge positive of the furry fandom. We are so open to accepting each other. We accept each other for who we are and what we prefer. Each other's pronouns and each other's, sexual orientations, honestly. And for the most part, most furries are just nothing but compliments and kind to each other. I've only ever met a few really bad ones, and I know there are worse ones out there, but... Bye, Lemon! Thank you so much for hanging out. It was fun meeting you, and getting to chat, and it was really cute of you to draw me that. I loved that. Thank you so much. I'll see you later. Yeah, it is weird that the pop culture furries are fine, but not us. Like, what even? Mascot costumes have been around for ever. But when people want their own custom mascot costumes, suddenly it's weird. Like, what? Anyways, this turned into kind of a more just chatting stream. I'm fine with that, but, sorry I haven't been sewing anything for a few minutes if anybody was wanting me to do that. Might be. I do think that I should probably get going too, because I am tired, and also there's fur in my mouth, and that's never fun. So I will wait just a few minutes here in case anybody else has any last minute things they want to say to add to the conversation or anything. I don't want to cut you guys off if you had some more thoughts to add, so I'm just gonna kind of clean up. It is so hot in here. So once I'm done, I'll open the window so I can not reveal to all my neighbors that I'm a furry. It's like you want to be brave in who you are, but at the same time, you also don't want to draw attention to yourself. But honestly, I think that ship sailed when I made Fel go outside and model Spartan and take pictures. So, pretty sure the neighbors already know that I'm kind of weird. Alright, I did not lose the sewing needle today. Usually I'll stick it in the cone here so I don't lose it, but once in a while I will drop it and I'll have to get out my flashlight, and then it's a huge problem, but I didn't lose it today. That's a good plus. But we definitely are a weird bunch sometimes, lol. My poor boyfriend has to deal with me being like, I wear a giant cartoony dog costumes for fun. Right? Now that is a good boyfriend. Not important, but you're trying to make Aries in Blender. Eee! And it's not. It looks alright, but it's running terribly. Oh, I see. Hey, if you need any help with 3D modeling, I don't know how to use Blender per se, because I know how to use Maya, but I can give you like shaping tips if you need help like with the way something looks. But honestly, anybody who can draw can actually give you some good tips. Like, yeah. I wish I could help better with Blender. Blender is hard. Maya is hard. But once you know how to do it, it's so fun. So I hope you have fun with that. You should use my... Right? You could get a free student version, so that's fun. But I think you have to be registered to, like, a college or something. So... yeah. Other than that, they make you pay. Unless you want to go... Yo! I want to learn how to animate so bad, but you have literally zero idea where to start. Yeah, right? You can get some pre-made rigs online, which is a model. It's a 3D model, probably T-posing or A-posing. And the rig, that's the model of it. And then the rig is the part that has the bone structure and the controls and things that you can use to move the character. So you can get a rig online, and then you don't have to learn how to model the character, texture it, rig it. You can just, you know. Yeah, it looks really black, doesn't it? I'm wondering if that's too dark. Is that too dark? Renn, once we get off stream, I'll take some better pictures for you because, frankly, this lighting situation is not doing very good. It's not bright enough, so it does look a bit dark, doesn't it? we will discuss. If this is a problem, then we'll have to work it out. Oh, see, that's good. Well, we were just closing out anyways, so hi Avengers, bye Avengers. Hopefully we can have a nice animation chat later. I would like to do, I've been saying this forever, an animation stream would be really fun. But yeah, now that my computer, I've replaced the fans, now it actually runs at a proper frame rate, so probably it'd be a good idea. Oh, oh no, it's not. It's gray. It's trying to be gray. It's just, my camera is not very good. When I take pictures with my phone camera, you'll be able to tell better. Yeah. Okay, well, it was great talking with you guys. Sorry it got a little bit talking and not as much sewing near the end there, but it was fun anyways, so. Maybe I can fix my overhead light for next time. We'll see. I don't know why it burned out. But I'll see you guys next time when we will maybe finish, sewing the rest of this together. We'll have like a nice pelt that we can glue on, so we'll see. Bye-bye!